Welcome to Digitability, an award-winning transition and work-ready program serving schools across the country. In collaboration with Pennsylvania's Career Ready State Project. We look forward to showcasing how Digitability collaborates with schools to deliver the most innovative transition services during these uncertain times. Over the years, most school districts have complied with their transition service requirements by establishing community-based instruction sites at locations such as hospitals, cafeterias, retail sites, gardens, and more. Currently, schools can no longer maintain these visits due to the health risk. Schools are now looking to adhere to the requirements of IDEA and provide transition services in virtual and hybrid environments. Digitability is providing an opportunity to innovate how special education students are prepared for independence in this new economy. When Digitability launched, we were the first and only program in the world addressing the tech skill gap for this population.
What is the big vision?
Well, the big vision is to mobilize this large and growing population.
The tech skill gap is a disparity that still exists. It's especially poignant now, with COVID taking away the traditional means for students to receive work-ready training. Now, tech literacy stands as one of the only ways to move forward.
Hi, my name is Dana Steinwart. I am a vocational and life skills teacher in an 18 to 21 program, and I've been teaching Digitability for almost 4 years. Due to COVID, of course, I will be teaching students in person and virtually. While I am slightly overwhelmed with these new modes of teaching, Digitability is making it easier than ever. For those students I am teaching remotely, Digitability has curriculum available digitally. I can access and send virtual students the same curriculum the in-person students have. For my in-person students, I have the option to go paperless as well with digital curriculum, or for students who prefer hard copies, I can provide them with copies of the same worksheets the other students are using. Not only does Digitability curriculum get my students work ready, it makes it seamless for virtual or in-person teaching. I am really excited for this year.
Agenda.
So private information, it is information that you do not share on the internet. I'm going to show you a really short video, and then we'll have an activity.
Keeping information private. Digitability anchors its training in tech literacy for the workplace and independence. Over the years, Digitability has expanded its model to streamline all the necessary transition skills. Workplace readiness.
My role is the content manager to pack items, manage emails, with production on making sure orders are filled, and collaborate with the team. My role, I was assistant project manager, and I pack items, and I collaborate with the team, and I input all incoming and outgoing orders in inventory Google Sheet.
Workplace communication. You will give feedback to your coworkers. When you give feedback, you will describe the strengths you notice, ask questions about the presentation, and Make suggestions for improvement. Giving feedback requires active listening and attention to details. Giving feedback shows collaboration and problem-solving skills.
Okay, Kevin, can you give him some feedback? I'll put the feedback sheet up here for you.
I like that how he spoke with his sentence.
Okay, and Chris M., what was his feedback for you?
He liked the way I spoke my sentence.
Right, and you tell him thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Leo, how about you give Emily some feedback? One thing you liked and one question you have for her.
It's time.
Emily, I like your voice. What's your favorite study?
You too.
Great job earning a participation dollar.
Digitability teaches workplace behaviors and financial literacy through our social economy program. In the social economy, students earn virtual digitability dollars when they exhibit behaviors that will make them successful in the workplace and increase their independence. Workplace behavior through Digitability's social economy. It is important that you understand workplace expectations in detail. Workplace expectations may include the process for how you complete your task, communication with other employees, and other processes that will be introduced to you during your training.
So we're going to talk about the types of behaviors that make you successful in the workplace. So participating in the classroom makes you successful, right? Why do you think? Raise your hand for participation dollar. Joel?
It makes you gain more confidence.
It makes you gain more confidence. I like that answer, Joel. Nice job participating and earning a dollar. Destiny?
You learn new things.
You learn new things. That's right. The more you participate, the more you learn. Nice job earning a dollar. Caitlin?
So you guys do a great job at participating. And participating or contributing is a behavior that will make you successful in the workplace. Today, we're going to identify more behaviors that are going to make you successful in the workplace, such as helping, greeting others, following directions, or encouraging your peers. Greeting a guest.
Yeah.
To welcome or recognize a guest, introduce a friend or yourself to others. So when someone comes into your home or your classroom, Deshaun sees Terrence's mom enter his classroom. Deshaun walks up to his mom and says, "Good morning, Mrs. Watkins. I'm Deshaun. Great to have you visiting our classroom today." Another example would be David is waiting to be interviewed for a job. The HR director walks into the waiting room and introduces himself. David stands up and shakes his hand and says, "Hello, I'm David Cohen. Great to meet you." Taking a look at our checklist, I introduce myself to new students on their first day. Tavin has his thumb up. That's something that Tavin does. Way to earn your participation dollar, Tavin. Leo has his thumb up. Leo's earning a dollar. Tanya has her thumb up. She's earning a participation dollar. Brian's got his thumb up. Good job, Brian. Way to earn that participation dollar. I introduce myself to friends, parents when I meet them. So Leo's mom comes into the classroom. That means you've gotten up to introduce yourself.
Great job having your thumbs up.
Good job, Abby. Way to participate, Abby. You've earned a dollar. Tavin has his thumb up. Leo has his thumb up. Brian's got his thumb up. Way to earn a participation dollar, Brian. The teacher wraps up the do now activity. She tells the class that it's time to move into math groups. Vincent immediately responds, "Oh no, not math groups." Ugh. What is Vincent doing in that scenario that is a problematic behavior? Tavin has his hand up. Emily has her hand up. Brian has his hand up. Yasha has his hand up. Great job, Yasha. Yasha, in this scenario, is Vincent complaining and whining?
Yes.
It's a yes. Very good, Yasha. Way to earn your participation dollar.
Good job, Yasha.
Awesome. So proud. The teacher starts asking a question. Before the teacher finishes and calls on any of the students, Vincent calls out his answer. What problematic behavior is Vincent displaying there? Tavin has his hand up. Emily has her hand up. Daisy has her hand up. Brian has his hand up. I see Tanya's ready to roll. Juan's got an answer. Abby's got an answer. Oh, full participation, guys. Emily, can you go ahead and tell us or show us what behavior he's displaying?
Interrupting.
Great job, Emily. Way to earn your participation dollar.
Financial literacy through the Digitability Social Economy. What is compensation? You know, having a job means earning money. You know, earning money is an important part of having a job. Compensation is the money you earn when you complete tasks assigned to you at work.
All right, so we have our CFOs here ready to record any money that you're going to earn this lesson, okay? For a participation dollar, who can tell me what does personal information mean? Chris M., first tell us your sentence. What do you have there? Read that for us.
Oh, dear. I can use my Safari browser to search up what I'm looking for.
Okay, Kevin, can you give him some feedback? I'll put the feedback sheet up here for you.
I like that how he spoke with his sentence.
Okay, and Chris M., what was his feedback for you?
He liked the way I spoke my sentence.
Right, and you tell him thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
How many do you have for Yanni? I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3. I gave everyone for the thumbs
That
up.
sounds good to me.
Okay. All right, how about for Justin? How many dollars did Justin earn?
5.
5, 4. I didn't get some. All right.
Okay, and how many did Kevin earn?
Kevin also got 5.
Good job.
And Beck got 2.
Yeah, back with 2. All right. All
Good
right.
job, guys.
Time on our next.
Digitability will also release an online banking system later this year. Students will be able to log into their Digitability bank accounts to pay bills and purchase rewards. Whether teachers are in the classroom, 100% virtual, or moving to a hybrid learning environment, Digitability provides teachers with plug-and-play models to teach all of these skills with little training needed. Digitability skill areas are taught through an integrated model designed to build capacity incrementally based on a student's current levels and goals. Then, students put their new skills into practice with Digitability work simulations. Through Digitability's real-world work simulations, students are introduced to a wide range of employment pathways. These employment experiences are personalized to meet students where their current needs and interests are. The work simulation process begins by choosing and planning the project. For example, the class may start a coffee business, learn how to market YouTube videos, perform data entry, and more. Digitability's library of work simulations are created in collaboration with real-world employers. Each work simulation can also be customized based on existing partners within a school community, or a new employment partner introduced by family and friends. After choosing their work simulation project, students are then hired for jobs and begin practicing workplace behavior, managing tasks and earnings, using self-advocacy skills, self-regulation, interpreting feedback, and more. This all results in the development of individualized work-ready portfolios for every student. Each student portfolio includes an online profile that will help students explore employment interest and connect with potential employers. It also allows them to showcase their Digitability work experience. Through Digitability, every student graduates with project samples and develops and practices their talking points about these projects in preparation for the interview process. With a work-ready portfolio, we've been able to show that we can flip the employment statistic and increase employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities from the national statistic of 30% to 70%.
I'm getting ready for our first day of school. I couldn't be more excited. Of the 15 students I teach, 12 will be in person and 3 will be virtual. But Digitability is making it easier than ever to have resources for both situations. Because my students have completed Level 1, I am going to start the year with Work Simulation 1, building a website. Digitability makes this very convenient in that the digital supplementals have already been created and are ready for me to upload to Canvas or Google Classroom for my virtual students. For classroom collaboration, I will use Zoom breakout rooms to put virtual students together so they may work collaboratively to complete an activity by being able to talk in small groups and share screens. I have another ongoing work simulation that involves keeping track of orders and inventory for a local nonprofit that happens to also work with our school district. Through the Digitability curriculum, my students have learned how to use and navigate Google Forms, spreadsheets, and Gmail. Schools place orders with the nonprofit for supplies using a Google Sheet. My students take the orders from that sheet and enter them into a Google form provided by the nonprofit. As orders are placed, my Digitability students use an inventory sheet to manage an up-to-date accounting of in-stock supplies. My students also use Gmail to communicate with our schools on delivery and pickup times and provide customer service. All this work is done remotely for the nonprofit, which means it can be done in person at school or virtually by my students who are at home.
Phase 1 of a work simulation involves planning the project. In Phase 1, teachers and students brainstorm their project. Teachers can choose projects from low to high tech based on the needs of their students. Each Digitability lesson is anchored with a video. Creating a plan helps employees stay focused on important tasks, deadlines, and roles for collaboration. As an employee, you may need to create a personal plan for your job role. You may also need to collaborate with other employees to create a plan for a project. All of the resources needed for the delivery of a lesson plan, group activities, and independent work have already been created and differentiated for teachers to use in the classroom and in virtual environments.
We brought Digitability to Perkiomen Valley School District because of the topics, the relevancy of what Digitability brings to our school district. The great thing about the lessons is they were tailored to our students to meet their needs. It also worked on evidence-based practices for behavior, for prompting. It really increased our student engagement, which was great. Every student got something out of the program. And I would definitely recommend Digitability to any school district looking to expand their transition programming or having students get ready for whatever serves them after high school.
I've really loved using Digitability in my classroom because I have students on so many different cognitive levels, ability levels. I have students who are nonverbal, and then I have students who are on a 12th grade reading level. So this has offered me the opportunity to do this program with all of them, whether it's, they're able to verbally express or use PEX cards, write in their answers or trace their answers. All of my students have been able to participate actively.
Digitability has helped teachers and students create work simulations focused around existing partnerships or classroom businesses. For example, schools have created websites to support their coffee business and allow for online ordering. In virtual environments, we are working with schools to take those same themes and rework them to meet the online classroom. Now, prom dress drives become online fashion or textile shows and social promotion on Instagram. Coffee businesses promote virtual cafes. Retail stores create inventory projects. In this one example, students are working together to plan virtual cantinas with cooking shows.
Cooking shows.
Cooking shows. Good job, Emily.
Thank you.
Way to earn a participation dollar. So we'll have recipes, we'll have pictures, and we'll have cooking shows available on our website. So the next step in planning a website is deciding what we want the name of our website to be. And we're going to have to collaborate here because we can only have one name. So, does anyone have an idea for the name of our website?
Fortnite.
Fortnite? Well, so would someone coming to our website called Fortnite know that our website is about cooking? Okay, Tavin, share with us what you think the name of our website should be.
Cooking Tavin.
Okay, Cooking with Tavin.
Okay, Tavin. Go, Tavin.
Tavin, are you the only one that's developing the website, though?
No.
No, see, you've got a whole team behind you. So
Yeah.
how can we incorporate everybody?
With friends.
Cooking with friends.
Wow.
That's a great one. Who likes cooking with friends?
I like that one.
Okay, great. So we'll do that. Cooking with friends.
So far, everybody raise their hand if they like that one.
So what is the URL of our website? So www. Good job,
Wow.
Emily. Cooking with friends.
Friends.com.
Cookingwithfriends.com. Good job, guys.
We're on fire, dude. We're on fire. We are.
Do people visiting our website need to create an account to use our site? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Of course, you have to.
Of course. So let's say we want them to create an account. Join how?
Join our lesson, cooking shows lesson.
Okay, so if you create an account, then maybe you can join us for a live lesson.
Yeah.
And that way we can control who can join us.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have to approve an account. Okay. Join a lesson. What else might you be able to do with an account?
Private information.
Can you repeat it, Emily?
Private information.
So well, maybe not private information. We're not going to do anything that needs to be private. What keywords would someone enter in the search field to find our site? So if someone went to Google and they were going to search us, what would they put in there to find our website?
Cooking lessons.
So cooking. They might type in cooking lessons to find us. They might just type in the word cooking.
Recipes.
Recipes, good job.
Recipes, ooh.
You guys are great at this.
Thinking outside of the box to prepare students for a wide range of jobs is important now that recruitment, employment, and support of people with disabilities is increasing. Digitability is connecting with organizations like Neurodiversity in the Workplace to remove bias from hiring, tap into neurodiverse talent, and unleash potential. Phase 2, getting to work. This is Deshawn, a Digitability graduate who is now working in a human resource office. Deshawn's high school had a community garden project. Digitability worked with the school's community partner to customize the work simulation and prepare students with skills needed to get a job in today's tech-driven economy. Deshawn and his classmates created a website to promote the garden and help sell the produce to the community. Deshawn was hired as inventory manager. In Deshawn's role, he learned how to create a Google spreadsheet and use it to organize the inventory, prices, and images for the site. Deshawn learned how to use the functions of Google Drive, Sheets, Slides, and Gmail to share information and collaborate in the cloud with his classmates. Digitability also taught Deshawn how to showcase his work-ready skills while developing his social and communication abilities for the workplace. This training helped Deshawn obtain employment. Today, he is recognized as a valued member of his team. It's important to understand the developmental journey of this Digitability graduate. When Deshawn started the Digitability program in the 9th grade, he had age-inappropriate behavior, using baby talk and making off-topic statements about fairy tale princesses. While he watched animated children's shows using online applications like YouTube, he didn't use the internet to connect with others, learn about new topics, or perform independent living tasks. In every Digitability lesson plan that came before the work simulation, students practiced communicating with their peers and exhibiting workplace behavior. This model is designed to promote skill generalization to problem solve, exhibit flexible thinking, interpret feedback, and more. In work simulations, students are hired for a specific job role that requires collaboration for success. You may receive training from your manager or from another employee. It is important to take notes and ask questions during your training. You know that employment training is when you are taught the new skills or processes that you will need to know to complete at work. In Digitability work simulations, Students complete a stand-up meeting every day, a common practice in tech companies, but also resembling a shift meeting in other industries. In a stand-up meeting, students answer 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What will I do today? What barriers am I facing that I need to address?
Okay, for a participation dollar, what is the first question you need to ask yourself when preparing for stand-up? For a participation dollar, can I get Emily to answer that?
What task you did yesterday?
Great job, Emily. Way to earn your participation dollar. We're going to answer what we did yesterday. So, Emily, what did you do yesterday?
We learned about e-website or cooking.
Great job, Emily.
Good job, Emily.
At the end of each work session, students reflect on their experience and receive their performance reviews. There are 3 questions you can use to help you reflect on your job performance. Did you complete daily tasks on time? Do you communicate effectively with your coworkers? Did you follow workplace processes to complete tasks? Phase 3, Demo Day. Work simulation projects are designed to develop a work-ready portfolio and increase employment outcomes by teaching students how to showcase their skills. Students will use this opportunity to showcase their newly honed skills, developed through a variety of opportunities, such as volunteer experience.
I have a problem with the chapstick because I can't tell if it's a wiggler and tinted. Solutions. I collaborate with the team and I update item descriptions. And there's chapstick, there's wiggler, and there's tinted. I can't difference between the other 2 are. Skills I learned. I manage inventory using a Google Sheet and strong knowledge of Google applications. For example, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and Gmail. Thank you for all you listening, and any questions? Yes?
Eddie, why do you use Google instead of something else to keep track of everything?
What?
Because for the project manager, but I put a bunch of numbers and there's how many we got items and yeah.
My role is the content manager to pack items, manage emails, with production on making sure orders are filled, and collaborate with the team. For example, emails, check, compose, and send all emails. Coordinates with production on making sure orders are filled.
This is Mary in the Fed office. I'm looking
Obstacles
for
have
the
a lot
job
of
coach,
emails.
Christine Dickinson. If she could come to the job special ed office,
My
please.
solution is to pay attention. Skills learned, writing emails, communicating, know how to use Google applications, for example. Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and Gmail. Thanks. Any questions?
I have a question. Hey, Matthew, who are you sending emails to?
The schools?
And how many schools do you email?
6.
And those are the Giving the Basics schools?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you name a couple?
I just sent it.
Yeah.
Like Overland Trail Elementary, BVN, BN, Overland.
Great.
And Middle.
Great. See if anybody else has a question.
Does anyone have a question?
School-based electives such as culinary programs, community-based instruction, like a garden project.
Here's all the information. If you want, you can put it all in the email. Put it all in the orange box.
And what will happen?
You send email.
A particular topic of interest, such as a love for animals, linked to the possible employment path of the zoo.
Hello everyone, my name is Marcus Johnson, and I'm here to tell you about what do I know about mammals. Some mammals can hunt, play, and swim, climb, and some don't fly.
Students with limited verbal ability can participate with modified instruction using their AAC device or Digitability print-ready and virtual differentiated resources, such as image exchange cards for each lesson.
Lion, elephants, and zebra, all of that, man.
The teachers, who are now the executive team, provide critical feedback that students will then interpret and apply to their next demonstration as they continue to build their resumes and portfolios.
In spelling and grammar, you've earned $3. There are 1 to 3 errors in spelling, punctuation, or grammar in the final draft of the website. Your next step is to work with a partner to find and correct all spelling and grammar.
This is also linked to Digitability's performance review meetings facilitated by teachers and/or support staff. Once students have learned to reflect and report on their work experience, they apply what they have learned to showcase their abilities through their portfolio. Next, they will prepare to seek employment and practice their interviewing skills. Phase 4. Showcasing your work-ready portfolio to employers. Through Digitability's Google Template Gallery, teachers have access to all of the necessary templates students need to create their portfolios, including low, mid, or high-tech resources. Once students practice showcasing and reflecting in order to develop their portfolio, they can begin the job-seeking and interview process. You can share your portfolio with employers to showcase your work experience. You can share your portfolio by uploading it to the internet and sharing a link. You may share a link to a website, a PDF file, video, and more. In the 4th phase of the work simulation, students will need to apply for a different position in the same company. Congratulations! You have a job interview. You will need to communicate with the employer to ask questions. With the use of Digitability's differentiated resources and supports, students will be adequately prepared to participate in a real-world interview. Students will update their resumes and professional bios in preparation for the interview process. Since students will have a wide range of support needs, Digitability Work-Ready portfolios include a self-advocacy plan. This prepares students with a plan for auditory processing needs, expressive language, sensory processing, self-regulation, and more. Portfolios also grow with the student throughout their participation in Digitability. This is Michael, a middle school student receiving services in Autistic Support Classroom. Michael has always loved Sonic the Hedgehog and drawing pictures of Sonic and the other characters. However, Michael did not want anyone to see his work, and when asked, he might have had an emotional meltdown. Michael was working on a variety of educational goals, including social skills and communication. With Digitability, Michael's classroom developed a variety of digital literacy skills. His interest in Sonic was expressed through work simulation projects. Michael used Google Slides to create a presentation describing his process of designing Sonic animations. At the same time, Michael was being awarded Digitability Social Economy dollars when he exhibited new social and communication skills. This increased his motivation to share his work. Michael eventually was able to present his Digitability work simulation not only to his class, but to a room full of more than 100 people. Michael already has ambitions to become a video game designer. When students have an opportunity to explore and evaluate their skills and interests, their employment focus can be targeted. As teachers are working hard to figure out how to transition their instruction to these new environments, Digitability assigns a year-long implementation coach to help plan and support their virtual, hybrid, and in-person instruction. Implementation coaches assist teachers in creating a facilitation plan, implementing evidence-based practices, earning rewards through our professional development, navigating tech and lesson resources, planning and customizing their work simulation projects. Our Digitability team is here to help package student portfolios and host them on our website, making them available long after they exit their education program. As families are also working to support at-home education, Digitability provides family guides to support and reinforce transition training for their learner. Teachers and families can collaborate using Digitability Google Doc templates and with our new online banking system. To access and receive updates on new work-ready programming, features, and partnerships, sign up for our newsletter by visiting our website at digitability.com and clicking on Newsletter from the menu bar. Digitability will email all participants this webinar archive, as well as additional program overview resources. If your school is not yet participating in the Digitability program, feel free to share our program materials. Thank you for joining Digitability. We love feedback and use it to create stronger programming for our communities. We look forward to answering your questions. You can use the chat features on this YouTube page to submit your questions.
Hello, everyone. This is Michelle from Digitability. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon in the East Coast and morning on the West Coast. I'm now happy to answer any questions that you might have. Please feel free to engage with us using the chat on the YouTube page. And as the questions are posted, I'll go through and read them and offer responses. So I see that Diane Kim has posted already. Hi, Diane. She said, I have no doubt this is a great tool and resource. I'm already convinced. So far, this has been mostly a productive demo, but I'm more interested in seeing how the content gets taught to the students. Yep, Diane, that's a great point. So we included a couple scenarios. We tried to focus on the virtual environments. Previously, we had a lot more in classroom examples, but now that everybody is virtually, we really wanted to showcase those samples. So there were a couple times in the presentation you might have seen the one teacher in a virtual session delivering instruction around work-ready behavior. So that included identifying behaviors that make you productive, like participating and earning those participation dollars. There was another one about greeting a guest. And that scenario was depicted both in the classroom as well as in an employment or vocational training environment. I think there was another example towards the end, specifically focusing on how students work together to plan their work simulation. So in this session, we showed the coffee shop. A lot of times schools send students off-site to cafes, or they have a coffee business, a coffee cart within the school. And so when they're in the classroom, Digitability helps the teachers and the students come together to create, let's say, an ordering system that's online. And so students learn how to use forms and spreadsheets and to manage those processes and communicating with each other. Now that we're in virtual, what we're doing is we're converting all of those common either training projects or most common training sites to come up with something that can be facilitated virtually. And so the example that was presented was the students were planning a cooking show. So it was a virtual cantina. So they were going to have recipes, talk about the ingredients. When schools have garden projects, they can then understand what's being grown, what they might be able to sell that produce for, and if you're collecting certain items that are grown in the garden to make a recipe, you can calculate what the total cost is for the meal. And so they also talked about planning, the name of the website, what might somebody enter into Google to find their website, so kind of thinking critically and developing theory of mind and things like that. And again, thank you. That was a really good comment and question. And please, if I haven't elaborated or if you're still curious, please feel free to continue the conversation with us in the chat. And so again, the chat should be available to you on the same YouTube page. Also, sometimes the question comes up, where is Digitability used in terms of the type of classroom? We mentioned in this presentation that we have a very wide range of need that we see in any of our given classrooms, from middle school throughout adulthood, whether it's an 18 to 21 program or an organization outside of a public school. Even in a classroom that has been grouped based on need, the range of cognitive, behavioral, communication needs will still vary. So everything's been extremely extensively differentiated. So you may have students, and I think one teacher spoke to this in the video, you may have students in the same classroom with limited expressive or receptive language, so they're pointing to their answers or using a device. Then you may have students who aren't too far off grade level, but still struggle with the social, emotional, communication, sort of navigating those skills in their pursuit of transition and independence. So Digitability can be implemented anywhere from middle school, high school, 18 to 21, and post-graduation, with students with a wide range. And the way we refer to student levels often is describing it as either having an apparent or a non-apparent disability. So when you present with some communication needs and it's immediately apparent, you may understand, okay, this student has auditory processing delays, right? Or they're not making eye contact. However, if a student has a non-apparent disability, that disability becomes apparent in certain environments. So when you look at our social economy, our behavior system is designed to understand what the antecedents to behaviors that can be perceived as problematic might be, and then to help students develop self-regulation skills. And again, whenever talking about behavior or communication need, there's going to be a very wide range. And so again, feel free to post in our chat if you have any additional questions. And again, we'll be sending this archive out to everybody who registered. We'll send the full version out, and then for those who may not have been able to join but would still like to learn a little bit more, but also given the time of year may be busy and not available to watch the 40-minute video, we'll break them down into sort of our Cliff Notes version and share those throughout the coming weeks. So if you haven't already, please sign up for our newsletter. Dana, the teacher in this video, she introduced herself, being excited for the first day of school. She talked about how she's using our program virtually this year, and she had been using it in the classroom for the last 4 years. We're doing an ongoing series following Dana this year as she navigates implementing Digitability's work simulation in a hybrid environment. So where some of her schools or some of her students are in the classroom receiving services, and others will be attending virtually. So I encourage you to sign up. That'll be our new mini series, and you'll really get to see the journey of sort of the integration of this process in this hybrid environment, as well as how she's structured her existing community-based instruction partners, like the not-for-profit you might have seen students present their demo day projects on, and how she continues to work with them even when COVID is preventing a lot of students from going out on site. And that's one of the things that Digitability works hard to do. We collaborate with every school to understand who their community partners are, the types of training tasks that the students were involved in, and create ways to continue to either capture that experience that students had previously, or design a program that is almost serving as a prerequisite to those experiences if and when they're back on site. Or maybe we just find a new way for students to support the organization virtually. So in Dana's example, again, she had students managing a lot of the inventory and communicating with the other, giving the basic schools virtually. So there wasn't a specific need for that one student role to actually go on site. Yeah, so another question from Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer, for posting. Besides creating websites and planning, what other examples of CBI and work simulations are there? So that's a great question. Every work simulation can be customized based on your community-based instruction partners. So designing a website can be something that is part of the student's work-ready portfolio. So let's say, like the students in the example, their actual work experience is through giving the basics. It's managing inventory. It's communicating with schools about delivery and scheduling. So that's a whole production process. What that website or the Google Slides presentation is empowering the students to do is first have a format to practice talking and presenting their experience. And then it's giving them a digital or tangible asset that they can include as they're seeking employment. So the project can be whatever the teacher or the transition coordinator, whatever the goals are for the classroom and the students, and that are linked to their existing community-based instruction partners. So we can customize anything that you're looking to do. It's just going through a discovery process to understand what experience and resources are already available. And then additionally, we can serve as a liaison if there are other employers in your community that you would like to connect with to develop some out-of-the-box thinking projects. We also have our own network. So for example, another work simulation project is all about YouTube, which we know that that's often the preferred and primary activity. So students learn about marketing their ideas on YouTube, and that comes to us from a business partner who does marketing for companies. And so YouTube marketing sounds a bit sophisticated, but the way we go through it is really just introducing them to the format, to the interface, thinking about communication. what are they communicating to people? What is their intention? Who is their audience? And so some of these work simulations can go hand in hand. So for example, where there was a former cafe where students were doing, food line service or making coffee or a coffee cart at the school, and now they're translating that to a cooking show, they'll learn to use YouTube as another work simulation project where they'll think about, okay, how are we telling a story? How are we sequencing the narrative for cooking this recipe? So those are sort of two off-the-cuff concepts that we know are quite common in schools. And Jennifer, if you have any examples of, current CBI training or former CBI training that you want to sort of put out there, I can give you an example of how Digitability might work with that, given the virtual environment.